Hi there guys, so today we're going to be dealing with a geometric solid which is going to be orientated in a different way as far as it goes with the top view. So I'm going to be lining up my protractor and I'm going to orientate it out of the norm at about 15 degrees. So there we go. I'm going to use my set square just to give me a construction line so that I can go ahead and put my 30mm base edge over there, and I'm going to make this my hexagonal pyramid. Okay, so along that line over there, which is nicely constructed, I have something that is quite offset to my norm. Now, what I want you guys to focus on, and it's a skill that you have to develop, is the use of sliding set squares. We know how to construct, or draw rather, a hexagon. So I'm going to line up my set square, my first set square on it, and I'm going to simply just shift it a little bit further away. Now please focus on this guy over here. I'm going to just put it onto the one surface of the actual set square, and while it is in line over here, I'm going to shift it further back, sliding very carefully, that is, along that edge over there, just so that I have a parallel line moving forward, further away from my actual base edge. Then I'm going to hold this one nice and tight, and I'm going to shift this one away and plant it nice and firmly on its edge and move it onto the actual base corner. Alright. So in this case over here, I'm just going to construct the line at 60 degrees, because remember, this is my new horizon line, or my horizontal line, okay, which is parallel to this one over here. And I have gone and constructed a line which I'll be measuring 30mm of, and I'm going to do the same way to the other side. Remember to hold this one nice and sturdy, slide it along. If you have to, you can hold it like this and shift this one across so that you can get this one even further along. It's quite beneficial because you know that you're going to be able to slide both set squares and get the necessary angle you need. Okay, so we need that 60-degree angle over there, okay, on the outside, that is. Okay, on that side there, it's definitely not my 60-degree, but if I had to continue this line over here, that would give me my 60-degree. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to leave my 45-degree line, or my set square where it is. I'm going to just carefully use the ruler end, 30mm base edge. I'm going to have to shift this along anyway, let me make use of it. And I'm going to get my 30mm out of this side as well. I'm going to have to go and do the same thing because I need the 60mm. Pay careful attention to what I'm doing. You could even put your ruler over here, just so that you can slide this 45-degree a little bit further back. Sliding set squares. Get this guy flat onto that surface there so that you can shift it along again, and then go to the base corner. You can go construct the base corner over there, and we're going to do the same, shifting it like so. Nice constructed line, and then while you have your 45 or this set square in place, hold it nice and tight, and you know that it's going to have a nice vertical line, or in this case over here, it doesn't really look vertical, does it? But it is vertical, or at a perpendicular line. There we go. Alright, so now I don't really need much more. I know that if I go ahead and go and join these guys, I can simply find that it's going to be parallel to that. In this case over here, I'm going to use this corner over here and use my sliding set squares again, and I'm going to move it along until I get to that corner. Now mine is a little bit out, okay, but not by much over there, and I'm going to finish off my top view. So that's how you're going to go about drawing the top view that is orientated slightly off the normal horizontal line. Okay, so there we have our 15 degrees. Okay, this portion over here. And you might find that you have a question like that at some point in time. I'm sure you will. Okay, so because this is going to be a pyramid, I'm going to go ahead and join my opposite corners. We know that it's a hexagon, so I can do it this way. If it was a pentagon, however, I'd have to go and bisect the angles or the lines to be able to find the center of the object first, and that way I'd then be able to go and join all my corners to that center. But in this case here, we are fortunate enough, it is a hexagon, and therefore I have the top view of my hexagon drawn. Now, if I had to be able to look from this side over here, I'm just going to draw my mini eyeball as a representation of me looking at this from this view. I'll be able to see this surface, that surface, and that surface still. Okay, so I'll still be able to see three surfaces. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to project everything up, but remember this is a pyramid, so I'm going to project all my base edges just to the actual, in fact a little bit higher than this, because we know that we're going to measure 10 millimeters above this drawing for my axis. Go ahead and project it roughly 10 millimeters above. Okay, and I can even go and do my measurement now, which is my 10 millimeters where my axis is going to be placed. And I can go ahead and construct my line so far. Okay, now if I had a 10 millimeter measurement away from the side, which I'm just placing over there right now, I can go ahead and place my construction of my axis, and I could put my 45-degree line in place already, nice and dark. Okay, let's get all the hard work done. I'm going to project all the lines I need. Let's speed up my drawing a little bit. I've got to get this apex across. Remember, you guys will have an AH or an apex height in your question. And straight away I want to go and project all this information up for my left side view. Okay, maybe not all the way as far as I've taken this one. All my base edges will be down onto or touching the ground because we haven't tilted this object yet. This next one over here, if you can focus there, follow it, that is my apex. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice long one. This one here is going to be on the ground, and on the ground. Okay, one we are missing in the front though is my apex, so I'm going to rely on that as giving my apex height. And if they give you the apex height and they say to you that it's going to be about 70, 5 plus my 7 is going to be in 12, I'm going to place it over there. That's a little bit of information. I can then go ahead and go and project across to my left side view. Meets up over there. Okay, so one thing I like to do, I like to number my drawings: 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the center I'll make 0. So if I follow my center, 0 was over here. I'm just going to give it a number here in the views, and if I projected that up at that height, my apex height, I would have 0 over there. Okay, so now we've got to determine which of the numbers I'll be able to see. So when I'm projecting number 1 over here, I'm projecting number 2 here, I'm projecting number 6 over here, 3, 5, and 4. Projecting it across and up, I'll have 3, number 2, number 4, number 1, and number 6 I'm missing out one. There we go, number 5. Okay, so I drew 0 like this because if I had 1, 0 and 4 in line, I would have 1 and 4 in this case, in line with this one here. But now we know that this is going to affect it. Okay, this 15 degrees is affecting it, so I wouldn't have to worry about sharing that one line with 2 other numbers. Okay, right, so now let's get going with my front view. My front view says that if I had to shine a light on my object, I'd see its shadow, and a shadow has a profile. Therefore I'm going to draw the outside lines first, always be able to see the outside lines, so therefore it will be done in final line or borderline. And in my left side view I'm going to do exactly the same. Okay, now the question comes in, what will I be able to see and what will I not see? Just quickly going to go and put my axes in place though. Can't work without our axes now, can we? We label it from left to right because we read from left to right, and we also read from top to bottom. You will do it between your 4mm guidelines as stipulated by standards, and you'll also go ahead and label your views. Okay, and this one here, we know that this is going to be my front view, so let me label it for you so far. This one's going to be the top view. This is going to be the left side view, because we are dealing with first angle orthographic projection. Okay, so if I'm looking from this eyeball point of view, this one over here, okay, which numbers will I be able to see? I'll be able to see 1, 6, 5, and 4. So I'll also be able to see 1 going up to 0, 6 going up to 0, 5 going up to 0, and as I'm scanning across, I'll also be able to see 4 going up to 0. Okay, so let's test that theory. We said that we can see 4 going up to 0. Well, there's 4. We said it goes up to 0, and so it does. Okay, so let's go and take 5 up to 0, because we can see it, so we draw it. We know that 6 is seen, so we go straight to number 6, and this is the pleasure about having numbers on our drawings. And we said we can see number 1. Can we see number 2, however? Number 2 is beyond our vision. Okay, it's going to be behind the actual shape, therefore it will now become hidden detail because it's hidden behind this surface over here. 1, 0 and 6 back to 1, it's hidden behind this surface over here. Okay, so I'm going to be able to go ahead and find number 2, and I'm going to include the hidden detail. Just please remember your standards and the necessary spacing needed between the lines. Okay, try and keep it as constant. Right, and the next number that we haven't included is number 3. Number 3 is definitely not seen. It's going to be behind this surface, however, between 6 and 5, because if I have to project it, you can see that it's going to land up between 6 and 5. There it is there. So that's definitely in the back, looking from this eyeball point of view. Okay, so there I have the front view complete. Okay, let's focus on our left side view. Left side view, when I'm going to be looking at it from this angle over here. Okay, let me draw my eyeball. You may even draw your eyeball in your exams if you guys are writing tests or exams and so. Just to give you a little bit of help, go ahead, draw your eyeball and put yourself in that position. Okay, so if I'm looking at it from there or from here, which is the same side, it's from the left, I'm going to be able to see a different kind of view, which is going to be obviously my left side view, and also I'm going to be seeing different numbers. So in this case over here, if I'm looking at this side, I'm going to scan it from top to bottom, and I'm going to say, well, I can see line number 3, 2, 1, and 6. Therefore, I can see 3, 2, 0. I can also see 2, 2, 0, from 1, 2, 0, and also from 6 to 0. Okay, so let's go draw those numbers. From 6 to 0 is already there. From 3 to 0 is already there. How about number 2? We've got number 1. And 6. So 3, 2, 1, and 6 we'll be able to see from this point of view. Okay, so when you look from here, you won't be able to tell that when looking at it from the front view. You'd need the top view to be able to see which you would be able to see and which you would not be able to see. In that case, we will not be able to see all the other numbers, which are 4 to 0 and 5 to 0. So go to those numbers in the view. And I keep my hidden detail nice and constant. 4 to 0 and 5 to 0 both were the numbers that I could not see from the left hand side of this shape. Okay, so that would be my left side view done in completion. Right guys, I think that is it. Please remember to like the video and share it if you feel that it will help anyone else. And yeah, I really thank you for watching the video. Cheers guys.